And you should be live, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Good evening, welcome to this council meeting on Thursday, the 17th of December 2020. My name is Councillor Mark Hurd and I'm Chairman of the Malden District Council. First of all, please ensure your microphones remains muted and your video feed off when not addressing the council. This will reduce background noises and avoid any unintentional disturbances. This meeting is being hosted remotely, streamed live and recorded, and by being present in the meeting, you are giving consent to being recorded. During each item, please use the chat function of the meeting to indicate you wish to speak. I will then invite you at the appropriate time. Members are reminded that apart from indicating you wish to speak or that you have to leave the meeting, the chat function should not be used for any other purpose. Please don't use the raise hand function as this is not available on all member devices. When speaking and referring to the agenda papers, please ensure you reference a page or paragraph number. So members, if you need to leave the meeting at any point, please do make this known and use the chat function to signify that you need to leave the meeting. Now, if I may ask officers taking part in the meeting to introduce themselves, and I'll start with Mr. Dodson because I think Mr. Holmes is not present.
Good evening, members. Paul Dodson, Director of Strategy, Performance and Governance.
Thank you. Mr. Leslie.
Good evening, Chris Leslie, Director of Resources.
Thank you. Mr. Quelch.
Good evening, Simon Quelch, and I'm one of the council's legal advisors.
Thank you. Mr. Hulley.
Good evening, members. I'm Grant Hulley. I'm the lead ICT specialist.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Holmes. Are you there, Emma?
Oh. Good evening, Councillor Hurd.
Well done. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Could you just introduce yourself and your title?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Emma Holmes. I'm the legal specialist. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Butcher.
Good evening, members. Stephen Butcher, Commercial Manager.
Thank you, Stephen. And Miss Bird.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, members. Tara Bird, Committee Services Officer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other officers present?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Matt Lee, Lead Specialist, Place.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Very good to see you. Tara, please can you now carry out a roll call of members to confirm who is in attendance? Thank you.
Yes, Chairman, thank you. Members, if you could just indicate your attendance when I call your name, please. Starting with Councillor Bassinger, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm present.
Thank you. Councillor Miss Beale.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Councillor Brian Beale.
Present. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Bell.
I'm present. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Boyce. Councillor Boyce. Not present. Councillor Mrs. Channer.
Hello, Tara. Yes, I'm present. Good evening, Chairman, and good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm present. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Councillor Fluker.
Good evening, Tara. Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hurd's here. Councillor Hull.
Good evening, Tara, and good evening, everybody. I'm here.
Good evening. Thank you. Councillor Jarvis.
Good evening, Tara, Chairman, members.
Good evening.
Thank you. Councillor Keys.
Good evening, Tara. Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, everybody. I'm present.
Good evening. Thank you. Councillor Lagan.
Yeah, present, Tara. Good evening, everybody. I'm here.
Thank you. Councillor Mays.
Present, Tara.
Councillor Morley.
Present, Tara.
Thank you very much. Councillor Morris.
Season's greetings and ho, ho, ho.
Thank you very much. Councillor Nunn.
Yes, good evening, Tara. Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. Councillor Shaughnessy.
Good evening, Tara. Thank you. I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman. Thank you.
Good evening.
Councillor Siddle.
Good evening, Tara. Present, and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Councillor Skeens.
Yes, and a Merry Christmas to everybody. Hello, Tara.
Thank you very much. Councillor Stamp.
Yeah, good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Tara. Good evening, members, and happy Merry Christmas as well. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. Councillor Stilts.
Good evening, Tara. Good evening, members. Merry Christmas to you all. I'm present.
Thank you very much. Councillor Swain.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Present.
Good evening. Thank you. Councillor Mrs Thompson.
Thank you, Tara. Present. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman.
Good evening. Thank you. And Councillor Miss White.
Good evening, Tara. I'm present, and Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you're all looking forward to it. I certainly am.
Thank you very much. Chairman, thank you. That concludes the roll call.
Thank you, Tara. May I have any apologies for absence, please?
Yes, Chairman. Apologies have been received from Councillor Jewett, Councillor Durham, Councillor Mrs Fleming and Councillor Helm. Thank you.
Okay, that's noted. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 3 is declaration of interest. This is to disclose the existence and nature of any disclosable pecuniary interests, other pecuniary interests or non-pecuniary interests relating to items of business on the agenda, having regard to paragraphs 6 to 8 inclusive of the Code of Conduct for members. Members are reminded that they are also required to disclose any such interests as soon as they become aware, should the need arise, throughout the meeting. If any member has an interest to declare, please use the chat function now to indicate, and I will invite you to speak. Tara, do we have any declarations, please?
Yes, Chairman. Councillor Mrs Channer has indicated she has a declaration.
Thank you. Councillor Channer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Just to indicate my normal one, Chairman, that I must declare I'm also a member of Essex County Council. That is a non-pecuniary declaration, Chairman, and it does apply to a fair number of items on the agenda, namely probably mostly 11, 12, because there are connections with county, 13 possibly, 14, 15, not 16 or 17 likely, but certainly could be in terms of 20 and 21 as well, Chairman. So it's most items where I've just highlighted. Thank you.
Okay, that's noted. Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Channer. Any other declarations, Tara?
Yes, Chairman. We have Councillor Lagan and then Councillor Nunn. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lagan.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, just the declaration, agenda item number 11, non-pecuniary. I've had some correspondence with people in the Bradwell district. Thank you, Chair.
That's noted. Thank you. And Councillor Nunn.
Well, I'm not sure about this one, Chairman. It doesn't directly relate to 11, but I ought to be upfront and say that I'm now the patron of the RF Bradwell Bay Preservation Group. Thank you very much. Non-pecuniary.
Non-pecuniary, thank you. I also see Councillor White's hand is raised. Councillor White.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. I'd like to declare an interest in agenda item 21, which is the Stowe Maris Great War Aerodrome, as I sit on the Consultative Closed Committee. And I also believe that I sit on the Bradwell Village Council Committee. So I'm not sure what is the new committee I've been put onto, but I want to declare it just in case it comes up. Thank you.
Okay, I presume that's non-pecuniary.
absolutely both non-pecuniary.
Thank you very much. I have one other note here. Councillor Shaughnessy.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, item 11, please, non-pecuniary. I have had a correspondence from residents in Bradwell. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Shaughnessy. Any other declarations, please, Tara?
No, Chairman, that's all I have listed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All of those are duly noted. Agenda item 4 are minutes of the Town Council meeting held on the 5th of November this year. It's recommended that the minutes of the meeting held on the 5th of November, and they're found on pages 7 to 42, are approved as a true and accurate record. I so move. If you wish to second the motion, please turn on your video, unmute your microphone and state your name now, please.
Councillor Carly Mays, a second.
Councillor Carly Mays, thank you very much. If any member wishes to raise any matter of accuracy, please use the chat function to indicate, and I will invite you to speak. I see that Councillor Channer has indicated she wishes to speak. Councillor Channer.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. It's in relation, actually, Chairman, sort of page 19, page 20, and where the JSC, the decision making, had to go back into full council because, as you'll be aware, there was an equality of votes when it was in the special meeting of that committee. You may recall, Chairman, there was a bit of confusion, really. Councillor Bamford made points about what should happen as she read the Constitution. In that she thought the proposal had to be that as aligned with what took place in the special committee. And then the monitoring officer, Mr. Quelch, the legal advisor, came in and said a new proposal. But that was after Councillor Nunn had already come in and made a proposal. But on the clarification given, then Councillor Fleming made a proposal in my name, Chairman. And if you recall, then what you decided was you said that you would proceed with the Councillor Bassinger proposal from Councillor Nunn, and in the event that failed, then you would go to the other proposal. But none of that, Chairman. I know it's not verbatim, but I think it's quite important to highlight the fact there was Councillor Fleming did propose after the clarification had been given, after all the confusion by the monitoring officer about the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Do other members wish for that to be included in the minutes?
Happy to agree, Chairman.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so if Councillor Mrs. Channer wishes to make an amendment, I think we can do that. Sorry, my mouse seems to have stopped. Are we happy to note that, Tara?
Chairman, we just need to know that if we are going to add something or amend it, I just need to be clear exactly what it is we're adding and amending, if that's possible, please.
Well, it's about the proposal prior to the monitoring officer giving the clarity about the process, and then saying that there's a proposal that had to be done in that meeting of council. Councillor Nunn had already proposed. When Mr. Quelch gave his clarification, Councillor Fleming made a proposal in my name. The chairman took Councillor Bassinger's in the name of Councillor Nunn. That was the proposal, and said that if that failed, then he would go to the other proposal. It's on the tape. I think the tape explains it, actually.
Have you managed to write that, Tara?
Chairman, I haven't got all of that. I'm sure I can pick it up. What I'm just trying to identify is exactly where it is in the minutes we're adding that and what we're actually going to add. I don't mean to.
Well, about the proposal that Councillor Fleming made in the light of the monitoring officer explaining another proposal had to come from the chamber. Ahead of that, Councillor Nunn had made a proposal in the name of Bassinger, but there was the confusion. You needn't put the bit in about Councillor Bamford coming in or anything like that, but Councillor Fleming did. And then the chairman said, well, we'll go with Councillor Bassinger in the name of Councillor Nunn, and if that then failed, then the other one. It's the last part of the tape, actually, Chair, on that meeting. I mean, if you like, I can get verbatim what was said.
Yes, I think
perhaps,
that might.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to suggest perhaps if members would agree to the minutes subject to that amendment, and we can agree the wording outside of the meeting, if that's suitable for you.
Yes.
Agreed.
Do you have any other?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Mr. Channer? Do you have any other points, Councillor Channer, on that?
No, thank you, Chairman.
Okay, can we agree those minutes by assent then, please, members?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll move on then to agenda item 5, public questions, and I can advise that we have not received any questions from the public. Agenda item number 6, Chairman's announcements. I've just got a couple of announcements to make. First of all, I congratulate Councillor Penny Channer, who has been chosen as the new leader of the opposition. I very much appreciate her comments that I read in the paper today, and I look forward to us all working together. Earlier this week, I hosted a staff Christmas quiz on Tuesday. There were 55 participants, and it seemed to go down very well. And well done to Melissa Curtis, who was the clear winner. The third item is that Councillor Nunn and I earlier this week attended a Dementia Friends training session. This is something which quite shocked me, in that 25% of the COVID deaths have been linked to dementia, and it is likely to affect 1 in 3 of us, directly or indirectly. There is a new training session which is being planned for the 20th of January, 10 until 11:30 for members, and I recommend that members do tune into that. It is a real eye-opener. We'll move on now to agenda item number 7, which is the minute book. Strategy and Resources Committee on the 19th of November 2020. This is on pages 43 to 52, and Councillor Siddle to present the minutes, please. Councillor Siddle.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I present the minutes of the Strategy and Resources Committee meeting held remotely on the 19th of November 2020, found on pages 43 to 52, and propose their reception and adoption. Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that. Councillor Wendy Stamp.
Thank you, Councillor Stamp. So I would just like to go through those pages. So pages 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51 and 52. I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Siddle. Can we agree those members by assent?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much. The second part is the Strategy and Resources Committee special meeting on the 24th of November 2020. This is contained in pages 53 to 156. I'm not sure you have to go through all of those, Councillor.
I hope not.
But could I ask you to present the minutes and the 4 recommendations contained in the minute numbers, please?
Oh, well, hopefully I'm not going to count from 53 to 156. Chairman, I present the minutes of the Strategy and Resources Committee meeting held remotely on the 24th of November 2020, found on pages 53 to 156, and I propose their reception and adoption. Could I have a seconder, please?
Seconded, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor
Swain.
So on page 54, minute 91, IT policies, Now, members should note, should these be agreed, the following items will be added on the second page of the information security policy, because these items were missed off. And that is to conduct their business in accordance with this policy, take responsibility for familiarising themselves with this policy and understand the obligations it places on them. Then on page 56, minute 92, planning enforcement. Page 57.
Before we go any further, I think Councillor Channer has a question on page 56, Councillor Siddle.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. Sorry, at first I thought it was 54. It's difficult when you're trying to look at things and then do this at the same time. Chairman, it is in relation to the recommendation little 2 and about the enforcement policy, and I do refer to some of the text. And you'll see under one of the bullet points that Mr. Lee did confirm that members would be consulted regarding enforcement notices. I was quite concerned about that when we had the debate at the committee, Chairman, because the flowchart didn't reveal that. Now, I've discovered what happened in 2015. The policy of March 2015 did have the full flowchart in, where it showed actually another part of the flowchart where members were included. It was under the heading breach of planning control established, and at the end it was quite clear and meant about informing ward councillors of action. Then for some reason in March 2018 another policy reflecting much on that old policy of March 2015 was there, and for some reason the flowchart wasn't in that, and I don't know if that accounts for the reason as to why I may not, or others may not, other councillors I mean, not just me, are not getting necessarily enforcement notices before they're served. That's normally the procedure. Now, the thing that worries me about the policy, Chairman, could you just give me the assurance, because it is silent on the fact, that members, the process and protocols will still include members before the enforcement notices. We will be informed of them ahead of them going out, as was previous. And I allude to the bullet point. Mr. Lee seems to be saying that, but nowhere in the new policy is that covered about the members' involvement. And that was my point. I was also always trying to make at Strategy and Resources. So can I be given that assurance? I obviously want to agree the policy, but I need to know that assurance that members will still be consulted about the enforcement notices just ahead. They just see them, Chairman.
Should we call Mr. Lee?
Mr. Lee, can you help with that?
Thank you, Chairman. Happy to assist. I think we debated this point at quite length on the evening, and the planning policy, as I said, the old one we had was multi-layered. It was policy, it was guidance, it was a number of factors, and the current proposal is to strip that down to only have the policy specifically. The internal processes that we do will not sit within the policy. They sit within the what used to be called the yearbook. I'm not sure if it's been updated, the title, and that hasn't changed. It's very similar to looking at like our LDP and our scheme of delegation. The policy is like the LDP, and the requirement to consult members before an enforcement notice goes out is similar to the scheme of delegation. It was a planning application, and so that will not be changing. I think it's called Constitution now.
Yes, it is.
Updated that, yes. So I'm showing my age, but so yeah. So and I know Councillor Channer did raise this issue about not being consulted, and I had asked that to be highlighted if we had done any enforcement notices for her. So I think it's probably like we haven't actually served any notice recently in her ward, and that's why she won't have been informed of any.
But all members will be informed.
Yeah, as always. Yeah, that's not changing. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee. Councillor Channer, you wanted to come back on that?
Well, thank you, Chairman. Yes, I did. I hope made it clear. I was seeking assurance. I said the policy needed to be agreed. I was just seeking that assurance because it was minuted under a bullet point that Mr. Lee said members would be, but it's silent and he's now explained. But just to ensure that was the case, but that assurance has now been given at council. So I'm sure that will be minuted, and I'm happy with that, Chairman. Thank you. I think it's quite important for all members, though.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think Councillor Siddle, perhaps if we go through the minutes first and then come back to the recommendations.
Okay, so I go back to page 56, minute 92, planning enforcement. Page 57, minute 91, North Quay Development Brief Supplementary Planning Document, and page 60, minute 99, Document Retention Policy. I so move.
Thank you very much. Tara, has any members indicated they wish to speak?
No, Chairman.
Agree, Chairman.
Okay, are we happy to agree those?
I propose we agree, Chairman.
We've got to go to the recommendations first now, haven't we? Councillor Siddle.
So the recommendations are that minute 91 IT policies with the amendment to be agreed, and minute 91 planning enforcement, the statement to be agreed, and the North Quay Development Brief Supplementary Plan document to be agreed, and the document retention policy to be agreed.
Propose, Chairman, to agree.
Sorry, Councillor Chan, I didn't catch that.
I was proposing we agree. I was proposing Councillor Siddle's Rex.
Thank you, Councillor Chan.
Okay, can we agree those by assent?
Agreed.
Yes,
agreed.
Agreed.
That's fine. Thank you very much, all, and thank you, Councillor Siddle. We now move on to C, Performance Governance and Audit Committee. This is on the 26th of November 2020. This has been circulated separately and is found in the supplementary pack on pages 3 and 8. Councillor Stilts to present the minutes. Councillor Stilts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I present the minutes of the Performance, Governance and Audit Committee meeting held remotely on the 26th of November 2020, found on pages 3 to 11 of the supplementary pack, and propose their reception and adoption. Can I have a seconder?
I'm happy to second those, Chairman.
Thank you.
Councillor Jarvis.
Thank you, Councillor Jarvis.
I give you page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, and page 11. So I move.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Tara, I couldn't quite get your message on the PG&A.
No problem, Chairman. It was just that your Chairman chat referred to the wrong page numbers, that's all. But Councillor Stilts has referred to the correct ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Once again, members, are we happy to agree those by assent?
Agreed.
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 Thank you very much. We're moving on now to agenda item number 8, minutes of meeting of the council, and this is to note that since the last meeting of the council and up until Wednesday the 9th of December 2020, council agenda dispatch, the committees listed have met and to receive any questions in accordance with council and committee procedure rule 6.2. If any member wishes to raise a question in relation to the minutes of this meeting, please make this known by using the chat function within this meeting. Tara, has anyone indicated they wish to speak?
Chairman, Councillor Skeens has indicated he wishes to speak.
Just to say that of all of those, the only one that hasn't met is the South East Area Planning Committee, because there hasn't been any business for it, or business arrived and then disappeared. So apart from that, just thought I'd make that clear.
Thank you very much indeed. In that case, these are to be noted. Again, are members happy to note that?
Noted.
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 Thank you very much. We move on now to agenda item 9, and this is a statement from the Leader of the Council setting out the Council's report and programme for the remainder of the municipal year. Leader, please make your statement.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, my fellow councillors, members of the public and press. I present to you as the elected leader of Malden District Council the Council's report and programme for the remainder of the municipal year. It is a huge honour and privilege to represent the district as its new independent council leader. It means a great deal to me and all the elected independent councillors that won their seats in May 2019, and the high number of residents who voted for change. Thank you for giving us this opportunity, and believe me, we do not intend to waste it. I personally wish to thank Councillor Stephen Nunn, my first-class deputy, who has also hit the ground running. What happens in Malden District matters to me. The people we work with, the people we work for, and the people we serve. Regardless of our differences, this is the one thing that unites us all. We have the responsibility of looking after the Malden District and leaving a positive legacy. We have already demonstrated how we want to work together for the benefit of the residents by being inclusive. We should all show kindness, respect to each other, and recognise everyone's qualities and values. The independent administration of this council is keen to change Malden District Council, and importantly, how the council has been perceived recently following the last few months of turmoil. That does not mean we are going to rip up all the policies that have gone before. We will look to keep what is good and to make the necessary changes in a balanced and measured way. We will challenge and seek to change what currently appears to be inconvenient to the system, whether that is excessively slow responses from our partners or that's how it has always been done. We will look at strengthening and revising parts of our constitution, including our code of conduct, ensuring that even if something may not be deemed illegal, it could be ill-advised and reflect negatively on our council as a whole. We need to ensure integrity, openness and transparency. We will look to improve working in partnership with our communities, listening to our residents and focusing on providing excellent customer service. We will build on the great partnerships that already exist. We recognise how effective partnership working has been, We recognise how effective partnership working has been in dealing with the COVID response. The COVID response across the Malden district has been fantastic. That has been because organisations have worked together, whether that is the district council, our partners in the voluntary sector, health providers, police, county council, town and parish councils, and the communities themselves. With common purpose and understanding of each other's roles and strengths, we have been able to provide more support and work together better than ever. It is that cooperative shared approach we want to take forward with our partner organisations and our communities. With that in mind, we will be looking to develop and update our corporate plan. We are keen to build on the current work the council is delivering, but with a renewed focus in key areas, including climate and environment. We will be bringing forward a climate emergency declaration early in the new year, and will then establish a climate and environment strategy to follow. Economic recovery. We will focus on working with our businesses to help them recover from the current challenges and to enable the district economy to thrive, creating new jobs. Commercial strategy and financial stability. This is paramount, and we will be taking a more business commercial approach to future-proof and safeguard the council for the future. Strengthening communities and enabling them to thrive, recognising how well we work together this year and capturing that approach to deliver wider benefits. I have embraced the leadership role and have loved working more closely with the officers who are full of ideas and energy. Teamwork is essential for the council to feel free and comfortable to voice suggestions, no matter how extreme or sometimes unpopular they may be. I have attended numerous meetings, watching an excellent Scrum meeting, enabling cross-team support, ideas, actions, tasks, and important updates for the benefit of the whole district. I was extremely impressed. So many new ideas in the pipeline, which will be brought to the council in the future, I hope. Our offices work exceptionally hard, and sometimes I feel there is a need for this to be publicised and recognised more. Directors and officers are working with members and our partners to make Malden District a better place to live, to work and to visit. I would like to thank the officers and support staff for all their hard work, not only through the transformation, but this year dealing with the COVID pandemic. It would not be fair to single out any one team, as they are just that, a team. Having faced and still facing huge challenges and extra work they have taken on, as well as operating business as usual. Finally, I am proud to present and live in the Malden District, and I hope my leader's speech has empowered you and inspired you to share my vision to demonstrate that we are a professional, hard-working council that cares. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leader. Now, the Leader of the Opposition now has the right to reply. Councillor Channer.
Oh, thank you for that, Chairman. I thought the Leader's statement was just that, a statement. I wasn't clear from the Constitution it did say that. But I would just say, Chairman, I think the Council, certainly my time on it, we all have worked for the best interests of the district, and that does involve partnership working. And I appreciate what the Leader has said about climate change coming forward. And I believe there was a strategy. I believe Mr. Geller is working very hard on a climate change strategy, so I welcome that. And I think I must say, because I have mentioned it in a statement I gave actually to the press, I think we have shared, all of us, the awful situation the pandemic has brought along for our residents, but also the county and the country. And I think that it has shown how working with our neighbours and in partnership, and also the people in the district, the voluntary services, what can be done. And I would actually like to herald the innovative actions this authority has taken in making sure we do keep delivering the best services for the district, which I think that the Leader was referring to. And I do acknowledge and I compliment and I do applaud our excellent officers who actually have worked, I would say, round the clock to ensure they keep this district really having the services that it does need and looking after the interests of our residents to the best of everyone's abilities during these difficult, challenging times. And where there have been problems, I think they've been sorted out as quickly as possible. And I think I must say the community document that was produced, information document, and that was by, and I will name an officer, Mr. Ben Brown, was absolutely excellent. It was updated regularly, and I think that's what the Leader may be referring to as well, working with our communities. And we relied very much on the parishes to make sure that information also was put out to the residents of the district. And I want to thank my parishes and all those in the district that actually have helped in terms of making sure the vulnerable, which are the elderly often, were sort of not left to flounder on their own, and various things like meals and that I know were happening in my ward, as I'm sure elsewhere. So I do acknowledge the Leader's speech. I wasn't expecting to do this. I thought it was a statement rather than I thought it was the budget where I had the opportunity to speak. But I do thank you for that opportunity, Chairman, and I acknowledge the Leader's speech and all the points that she makes. And I'm glad to see that the partnership working and other areas will be continued going forward, as the Leader has said, by the independent administration. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you for that, Councillor Channer. Is there, Leader, you do have a right of reply. Is there anything else you wish to add?
I do have a right to reply. Thank you, Chairman. I think it would be inappropriate to reply at this stage because I'm really positive. I take on board what the opposition leader said, but it hasn't always been the case. And that my statement was, hopefully, that we will keep moving forward and hopefully everybody will continue to work together. So thank you for the right to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, everybody happy to move on to agenda item number 10?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. This is questions given in accordance with Procedure Rule 6.3, of which notice has been given, and I can advise that we have not received any questions in accordance with this procedure rule. I therefore will move on to agenda item 11. This is the Bradwell B Power Station Working Group recommendation, which relates to a letter of support for small modular reactors This is found on pages 157 to 160. In a moment, I will call on the leader to present this item. Members, a reminder that if you wish to speak on this item, please make this known by using the chat function within the meeting. I will then come to you in turn. Please keep your points clear and succinct. Leader, please can you introduce the report?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. The purpose of the report, it is to consider the recommendation of the Bradwell B Power Station Working Group that a letter of support for the ongoing development of small modular reactors be sent to John Whittingdale, OBE MP, and to Stephen Speed, Director of Nuclear at the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. Chairman, if you'll just allow me before you put the recommendation, just to say and to remind members, it is really healthy that the working group is bringing to this council this view. It has been discussed in the working group, and I think it's only right that any member is allowed to bring something for debate or a recommendation to the council. It has to be considered. I do want to say though, Chair, and I want to remind everybody, we're not the decision makers for whether we receive more nuclear development in the district. We can only attempt to influence the impacts by lobbying government in terms of scale of this and via our engagement through the consent order process. I'd like to hand over if Mr Dodson has anything to add, but I'm really grateful that this report has come to council and that we have the opportunity to have a small debate, Chair, within the rules of the Constitution, and then you make the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Dodson.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, as the Leader of the Council said, this is a report on behalf of the Bradwell B Power Station Working Group. And the working group's fully aware that small modular reactor technology is not a part of BRB's proposals for the site. However, in light of concerns about the scale of the current proposals and the associated scale of likely effects, the working group felt that should the current proposals for a power station fall aside for whatever reason, and that the government continues to consider Bradwell B as a potentially suitable site for new nuclear development, that SMR technology could be considered as an option for the Bradwell B site in preference to conventional nuclear development. Members are being asked to take a vote on submitting a letter to the MP John Whittingdale and to Stephen Speed, Nuclear Director at BEIS, to state that if a number of things occur that lead to the site still being designated for nuclear development, that the council supports a smaller scale development as proposed by the potential small modular reactor design from Rolls-Royce, instead of another larger scale development. This was recommended by members at the October the 20th Bradwell B member working group. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Dodson. Well, the recommendation is set out in the report as follows: that the letter of support for the ongoing development of small modular reactors be sent to John Whittingdale, OBE MP, and to Stephen Speed, Director of Nuclear, Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. If we wish to speak about this, if any member wishes to second the motion in order that we can debate this, please.
Councillor Mays.
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Mays. I took your one first. I would now invite members to make any comments on the report, but I would ask members to bear in mind that this is for a letter of support to be sent or not. Tara, has anyone indicated they wish to speak, please?
Yes, Chairman, I have a few. I have Councillor Lagan, Councillor Swain, Councillor Skeens and Councillor Mrs Channer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Lagan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. First of all, thanks to the working group for spending the time to looking at options. It is appreciated. I have concerns about actually supporting SMR technology. Within the letter, it talks about the advantages of SMR, when those advantages really aren't clear on technology that really isn't proven, and the type of design of SMRs that we've got at the moment haven't even gone through the design principle. So we're looking at the technology that we don't really know about. But what we do know is that SMRs are not small, and they are modular, and they are reactors. They produce heat and waste, and that's about it. And the infrastructure that it generates could, if it was to be considered down at Bradwell, result in even in greater space being taken down on that beautiful peninsula. There's also funding issues that are within the government, but that's a government issue that's not really going to be supported. Whether we talk about the 250 million being reduced to 100 million for its development. So really, when I looked at this, I looked at it with very much an open mind, and it struck me as we're supporting something. And I use the analogy about we want to build a swimming pool for the Loch Ness Monster, but we don't know how big it is, and we don't know if it actually exists. And I think if we went out to support SMRs on this site, we'd be doing exactly that. And I feel what we should do is hold back, see what the process brings as it goes forward. We don't know what technology is going to occur in the future. And if the site's still designated in time to come, then we need to cross that bridge when we come to it. But we shouldn't really be looking at something that we don't know enough about at this point in time, which could have catastrophic effects as much as the same as the large planned development by BRB. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Lagan. Councillor Swain.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. First of all, I'm not in favour of nuclear power, but then I don't think we as a country have been serious enough about obviating the need for it. And if we look at what's happening down in Somerset, it's quite clear that nuclear power is going to be part of the energy mix for quite a long time. Now, when it comes to the small modular reactors, Rolls-Royce have stated quite recently publicly in a prospectus for additional funds that they expected to be able to provide electricity to the grid from a modular reactor by 2029. Even if this is vaguely optimistic, it would still seem to be in advance of when we could expect any electricity generated from a very large nuclear power station at Bradwell. And I think it is in the national interests that we push ahead with trying to make, with R&D, to try and make these small modular reactors a viable proposition and a viable alternative to very large stations for various reasons. One of which is that they could be distributed in different locations, and we wouldn't be restricted to the very small number of sites that the government has had to look at. But as far as Bradwell is concerned, I don't think it's appropriate. It's not an alternative. I don't think there's any indication that we were saying, well, we would prefer a small modular reactor. We wouldn't. It's still a significant industrial development, and the Bradwell and the Dengie Peninsula really is not suited to a power station of any scale, nuclear, of the type planned or in a small modular reactor. In fact, it's not really appropriate.
Councillor Swain, can I just remind you that what we're talking about is whether we should or shouldn't send a letter of support.
Yes, right.
Could you try and keep to that, please?
Yes. Thank you. Well, that's why I say that we are supporting this, or we are urging the government to put more effort behind this idea in the national interest. And we have a right to be involved in that because Malden, is in the front line of this whole debate about where we're going with nuclear power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Swain. Councillor Skeens.
Hello, yes, thank you, Chairman. I think we should send this letter. My major concern about Bradwell is the fact that the current proposal has a group of the largest buildings in Essex in the flattest, one of the most rural areas of Essex, and that just cannot happen. We've got to do what we can to get this scale down. I believe that a small modular reactor, which is being led with British technology by Rolls-Royce, would be a far better option. And as Councillor Swain was pointing out, the whole point of small modular reactors is that they can be spread across the country, that we wouldn't have to have 5 on our site to equal the proposed output at Bradwell, because the whole point is that they can be spread across the country. I've personally, speaking personally and in reaction to residents' comments, I would prefer that there isn't a massive nuclear site. I do believe that the site is inappropriate for such a massive development, and so I am, in short, in support of encouraging this new technology.
Thank you very much for that. So we've got quite a few members who wish to speak, so please be as succinct as you can. I'll go next to Councillor Channer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm not really going to dwell on the Bradwell situation as such, because obviously it's not a matter to a discussion. It's about actually this letter of support going for the SMRs. Well, I'd just like to say I do actually think the officer's report, and I'm going to refer to paragraphs 3.3.2 and 3.3.3, are very succinct and clear what this is about. And it was just saying about the support should, for any reason, the proposals that may be going forward, and we can't determine those, Chairman, as we know. Yes, we can be involved in the process. That and the site then should still be seen as being suitable for a nuclear site, then that's why the sort of SMR agenda. But I would like to point out, Chairman, it's also in the Energy White Paper, the government have highlighted about SMRs, but also I think we ought to use the terminology about advanced technology, because they've also brought the policy document out, which covers SMR and advanced technology. And when you look at what this could really mean in terms of SMRs, and I'm not just talking about us actually, Chairman, I'm talking about things across the whole country, and bearing in mind what the aim is by the government, regarding emissions being reduced and everything, and climate change. It will be, these SMRs could be a benefit in other areas for the reasons that you can have on smaller sites and elsewhere, and we know our energy requirements. So I think the government's documents I've just referred to do actually cover it off, and they are investing in sort of this technology to proceed. It's an innovation, and they're going to provide up to 385 million in advanced nuclear fund for the next generation of nuclear technology, aimed to be by early 2030s developed the SMRs and to build advanced modular reactors, a demonstrator, because we're a leader in those technologies. And for those reasons, I think actually the recommendation is just very clear. It's a letter of support to support that ongoing SMR, innovation or whatever work needs to be done, Chairman. So I would support.
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Morley, I think you did want to speak, but have you withdrawn that now?
Yes, it's okay, Chairman. It was really, I think it's kind of sort of been answered. I just really want to know how many we actually need of these smaller ones to replace Bradwell and things like that. I would just be interested to know those sort of things. And yeah, just really on that, it's been answered though, I think. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Bassinger, I think you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All I'd like to say is in regard to this letter, I don't think it matters what we write in this letter and how we put or we discuss SMRs or whatever. At the end of the day, the only thing they're looking for and the only thing that will be dug out of any letter is that MDC, if we send it, supports nuclear power. I don't think they're interested, particularly in our views. All they're waiting for is a little niche, a little crack to say MDC supports nuclear power. And because of that, I totally reject the idea of sending any letters of any support for any form of nuclear power. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Bassinger has just literally got the whole thing right. I don't think we should be sending any letters of support. They won't be read. They will just be spun. What they'll say is that we support nuclear power. I personally, I don't support nuclear power. I don't think it's good for the district. I don't believe we should send any letter supporting any nuclear power. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Tara, are there any other speakers who have indicated they wish to contribute to this?
No, Chairman, that's everyone that I've got on the list. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will allow Councillor Lagan. I know that you've looked into this a lot. You have asked to come back, and I will allow a very quick second bite of the.
Thank you, Chair. It will be very, very quick, and I appreciate it, Chair. Just something for members to consider that at recent debates, we're looking at changing, potentially reviewing our position on nuclear power in the LDP and development of Bradwell. So it may be slightly hypercritical of us if we do so. And I think, again, Councillor Bassinger has actually nailed it. Thank you, Chair.
Well done. Thank you very much. I see that Councillor Shaughnessy would like to speak on this, as you haven't spoken before. Councillor Shaughnessy.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I don't think my previous message sent properly, so I'm sorry if I'm holding up proceedings, but I will be very quick. The working group that decided about this letter is not the current working group, the Bradwell working group. I would like to point that out. Thank you. And these small reactors still would cause environmental destruction. There would still be huge radioactive waste, which is a problem. And I wouldn't wish this on Bradwell or the surroundings any more than I would the proposed Bradwell B. That's all I wish to say, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Are there any other speakers at all, Tara?
No, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Well, members, this letter is, this recommendation is for a letter of support for the ongoing development of SMRs to be sent to RNP and to the Director of Nuclear Energy. I think as there are no speakers, I think perhaps we can take this to the vote now.
Could we record that? Yeah.
Recorded, please.
Seconded, Councillor Bell.
Okay, so we've had a request for a recorded vote from Councillor Bassinger. It has been seconded by Councillor Bell. Tara, could you take the vote, please?
Yes, Chairman. Members, I'm going to call your name. Could you please indicate if you are for, against or abstaining? And this is the vote in relation to sending a letter of support regarding the small modular reactors. Thank you, Chairman. Starting with Councillor Bassinger, please.
Against.
Thank you. Councillor Miss Beale.
For.
Councillor Brian Beale.
For.
Councillor Bell.
Against.
Councillor Mrs Channer.
For, because it's not saying we agree with nuclear.
Councillor Edwards.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Fluker.
Against.
Councillor Hurd.
I'll abstain.
Thank you. Councillor Hull.
For.
Councillor Jarvis.
Against.
Councillor Keyes.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Lagan.
Against, please.
Councillor Mays.
Against.
Councillor Morley.
For.
Councillor Morris.
Against.
Thank you. Councillor Nunn.
Against.
Councillor Shaughnessy.
Against.
Councillor Siddle.
For.
Councillor Skeens.
A smaller, better technology is better. For.
Councillor Stamp.
I'm going against.
Stilts.
Against.
Thank you. Councillor Swain.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs Thompson.
For.
Thank you. And Councillor Miss White.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you, Chairman. The results of that are 12 for, 11 against and 1 abstention. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. In that case, that is carried. and therefore we will send a letter of support. We'll move on now to agenda item 13. This is a report of the Corporate Governance Working Group. This is found on pages 169. And in a moment, I'll call once again on the leader to present this item.
Chair, aren't we doing agenda item 12, tax base, or is it me? Have I made a mistake, Chair?
No, you haven't made. In fact, I have made a mistake.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So thank you very much. Yeah, agenda item number 12, council tax base. So in a moment, I will still call on the leader to present this item. If you wish to speak on this item, please make this known by using the chat function, and then I'll come to you in turn. Once again, members, please keep your points clear and succinct. Leader, please present the report.
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the report is that the council is required to set the tax base for council tax by the 31st of January in the financial year preceding that to which the tax base applies. The council has to notify its tax base calculations to Essex County Council, Essex Fire Authority and the Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex and Parish and Town Councils by the 31st of January. Before you make the recommendation, Leader, I don't know if Mr. Leslie would like to come in, because to me the report's quite straightforward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Leslie.
Thank you, Chairman. I do feel that the leader has probably already summed this up, to be honest. It is an annual item that is presented to the council every December. It sets out the council tax base for the next year. That in turn is used to estimate the council tax income. As set out in the report, the base has decreased by nearly 132 Band D equivalent properties compared to this year. This is due to an increase in the expected demand for the local council tax support scheme, as well as a projected decrease in collection by 1.3% from this year, all as a result of the impacts of COVID. This was partly offset by an increase in the number of dwellings anticipated to be added to the valuation list next year, however. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leslie. So the recommendation is set out within the report as follows: that in accordance with the local authority's calculation of tax base regulations, the amount calculated by Malden District Council as its tax base for the year 2021 shall be set as shown. If any member wishes to second that motion, please turn on your video, unmute your microphone and state your name now.
Seconded, Councillor Wendy Stamp.
Councillor Wendy Stamp, thank you very much. I'll now invite members to make any comments on the report. Tara, has anybody indicated they wish to speak, please?
No, Chairman, we have nobody wishing to speak. Thank you. Oh, apologies. Councillor Edwards would like to speak.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Just a question. Is the tax base based on the number of properties as of the last month or two, or last October or November? Thank you.
Are you able to help with that, Mr. Leslie?
Yes, that's right. It's based on the number of properties at the end of October, which obviously we adjust for anticipated growth, and obviously we then do the changes in collection as well as the local council tax support scheme. So it is based at the end of October on the properties that exist.
Can I come back, Chairman? So all the properties occupied after October are not included?
That's the adjustment we make. We look at the October one, so it's based on that initially, and then we adjust for those additional properties as well that we expect to come in the next year.
Okay.
So yes, you can say it takes into account the additional properties we expect to come online next year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Tara, has anybody else indicated they wish to speak?
Agree the recommendation, Chairman.
Can we agree that by assent, members?
Agreed.
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 Agreed. I'll put my hand up.
Chairman.
Councillor Bill, sorry, I didn't see you there. I'll come back to you, Mr. Councillor Morris. Councillor Beale.
Yes. The most important people to worry about the council tax are the actual residents, etc. I think the residents like to hear a lot of talk about how it's going to be calculated, but I think it's most important that if we can give a guide or a steer or an indication of what is going to happen to the tax onto the actual individuals next year relative to this year. Is it going up by a small percentage, large percentage, or what? Can we give that guide to anybody?
Mr. Leslie, are you able to help on that?
Yeah, so council tax increases for this district are capped at 2%. So anything above or 2% or above requires a local referendum to be held. The setting of the council tax base is a council decision, which will take place in February, prior or subsequently to a report going to the S&R committee in January. But that's really a member's decision.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Morris, did you want to say something?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like the minutes to reflect my dissent. Don't want a recorded vote or anything on it. And I'd just like to say that we should all watch this space, and perhaps everyone should have a look at a website called Fairer Share. So just want my dissent noted on the minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay, but I'm advised that if we have one dissent, we do have to have a roll call.
Okay, Chair, sorry to have to do this to you guys. Let's have a roll call.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you able to do that, Tara?
Yes, Chairman, of course.
Okay, we'll go with that. So, you will either be for or against the recommendation, is that correct?
Yes, Chairman. For or against abstaining, please. Starting with Councillor Bassinger, please.
For, thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Miss Beale.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Brian Beale.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Bell.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs. Channer.
Oh, this is something we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Fluker.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Hurd.
Yes, I'm for this.
Councillor Hull.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Jarvis.
Yes, for, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Keys.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Lagan.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Mays.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Morley.
For, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Morris.
Against.
Thank you very much. Councillor Nunn.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Shaughnessy.
For, thank you, Tara.
Councillor Siddle.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Skeens.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Stamp.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Stilts.
For.
Councillor Swain.
For, it's essentially a statement of fact.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs. Thompson.
Councillor Swain said it for me. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Councillor Swain. For. It's a legal requirement.
And Councillor Miss White.
For.
Thank you, Chairman. The results of that are 23 for and 1 against. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on now to agenda item 13, and this is the report of the Corporate Governance Working Group. This is found on page 169. In a moment, I'll call on the leader to present this item. Once again, members, please use the chat function, and I will come to you in turn. So please keep your points clear and to the point. Leader, please introduce the report.
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of this report, members, is to provide information and recommendations from the Corporate Governance Working Group meeting that took place on the 2nd of December 2020. We've got an excellent working group, and our chairman of our working group is Councillor Richard Siddle, and I'd like to hand over to him with the support of Mr. Dodson if it's required. Thank you, Councillor Siddle.
Thank you, Leader. Yes, as the leader stipulated, the corporate governance working group met on the 2nd of December to consider the remote meeting protocol in more detail, as agreed on the 1st of October council meeting, because at that particular time the council couldn't come to a decision, and a revised version has now been produced, including further amendments from the group, and this is attached for members for approval as Appendix A. The group also considered some additional constitution and best practice matters, and there are some additional recommendations which cover updates to Procedure Rule 10, instating a maximum meeting length, scheduling ONS as required rather than regularly. These are included in recommendations for member review, with further explanation as to how the working group reached the recommendations within the report. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much indeed. So the recommendations are set out within the report as follows. Recommendation, I think I'm not sure I've actually moved those, have I? So we have the 4 recommendations there. If any member wishes to second that motion, please turn on your video, unmute your microphone, state your name. Councillor Mays, thank you very much. And I will now invite members to make any comments on the report. Tara, has anyone indicated they wish to speak, please?
No, Chairman, they haven't. Thank you.
Okay, in that case, I will go to the recommendations. Do members want to vote for these en bloc, all 4?
I think Councillor Swain.
Councillor Swain just wishes to, and Councillor Mrs. Channer have just asked to speak.
All right, okay. Councillor Channer.
I think Councillor Swain was before me, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Swain.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Channer. Yes, my first point is I believe this should have been reported to Performance, Governance and Audit. If it concerns governance, it should have gone and been considered by that committee rather than coming direct to council. And then these recommendations could have been chewed over a bit more than just in a working group. There was some. I do have a qualm about the 4th recommendation on the overview and scrutiny. To not have any meetings in the schedule it does seem to cause potential problems, because one then has to have the problems of trying to convene ad hoc meetings. So I would have thought it was advisable to have certain meetings, but with the possibility of others being injected as necessary. But to make them all ad hoc, I think is just going to make life difficult organising them.
Shall I answer that, Chairman?
Yes, I was going to come to you next. Yes, as chair of S&R, yes, please.
So the reason why the this report has gone from the working group to full council is that corporate working governance group reports to full council, does not report to PGA, hence why I'm on that group as chairman of strategy and resources. So therefore the correct process has followed in terms of it reporting to full council as the next step. In terms of the current 6-week cycle, in terms of overview and scrutiny, those items often have to go away and had a lot of work put into them. So it means that in terms of a work plan, therefore there needs to be that flexibility rather than it being a rigid that the overview and scrutiny has to meet on a 6-week cycle. So it gives opportunity for those items that are raised to be fully investigated, to go and have a look at, and then come back to the committee at the relevant time. The same thing happens on planning on the licensing committee. It only meets, and the same with joint standards. So therefore it's actually meeting the requirements more effectively for that particular committee. That what the council is trying to avoid is what happened last year, where lots of meetings were cancelled. So there was a schedule for them, but lots of those meetings were cancelled. And then there came this question about whether overview and scrutiny has a role anymore. So we're trying to actually improve the process by introducing that particular recommendation.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Can I just have a rejoinder on that?
I think the question that you've posed has been answered, Councillor Swain. If you want to speak on something that Councillor Siddle has spoken about as a point of clarification, but I think the question has been answered.
Because we're not talking just about the Overview and Scrutiny Committee, but the working group of the committee that filters topics for consideration. And that would seem to be something to be handled on a regular basis.
So again, that the same principles apply, because that working group works on the items that are put forward by members. So I should imagine that when there are several of those forms completed and there are items to look at whether they need to be scrutinised or not, there's no point in scheduling a working group when there's nothing to look. All it ends up doing is being cancelled. So as soon as there are enough of those items raised, then the working group will meet, and therefore that will then lead to the Overview Scrutiny Committee meeting. So it's actually making things easier.
I will come to Councillor Bell as Chair of Overview and Scrutiny in just a moment. Can I just go to Councillor Channer next, please?
Well, I'm happy to give way to Councillor Bell if she'd like as the Chairman of Overview and Scrutiny, and I'll come in and say what I've got to say after that.
Thank you for that, Councillor Channer. Councillor Bell.
Thank you very much, Councillor Channer. That's much appreciated. Really just, yes, as the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny, to reiterate what Councillor Siddle said, we now have a firm process for Overview and Scrutiny with the submissions of the form, the working group, and then items being taken forwards. Now, I think that's quite a robust process, we shall see, but I believe it is, and I'm confident that this process will meet the needs of Overview and Scrutiny much better than having set meetings on set dates, which actually is impractical, really, I believe, in this situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Channer.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I was just underlining what Councillor Siddle did say, that it was a working group set up by Council, so of course it reports, but there's ways that things can get reported to PJ, I'm sure. Just to say on the Overview and Scrutiny, and I think it's been made clear, I hope so, I believe every member can actually come up with something they'd like to go to Overview and Scrutiny, not just the Overview and Scrutiny members. Yeah. But also I think this might have originated as further thinking. I don't sit on Overview and Scrutiny, haven't in recent times, but I think when Councillor Helm was in the chair, the meeting, it might have been, I think the meeting prior to the annual, a little while before, I think there was a report from Cheryl Hughes, I think it was Cheryl Hughes's report about a working group, and I think it was agreed at Overview Scrutiny at that time to have the working group function and do it in that way. And I think this is just adding on to that to make sure the working group reports back, so there's meat on the bone when the items that the committee's looked at, they've got something to discuss in quite detail. That was my understanding when I sat on the working group. So hence why part of that working group agreed with this recommendation sort of coming forward.
Okay, thank you very much. Tara, has anybody else indicated they wish to speak?
No, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, in that case, I'll go to thank you, Councillor Siddle.
Thank you.
In that case, I'll go to the recommendations that are in the report. Recommendation 1 is that the remote meeting protocol updates are revised by the Corporate Governance Working Group and set out in Appendix A be adopted. Are we happy to agree that by assent?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Sorry,
and,
guys. I don't agree. If we need to have a roll call, sorry, I can't agree on that. Chair, is all I can say is that we all know this is aimed at me, and this is overreach and censorship. So I don't agree. Sorry, if we've got to have a roll call, I'm more than happy to have my dissent just minuted. Thank you.
I don't think constitutionally we can do that, Tara, can we?
No, Chairman, that is right. The procedure does say that if we have dissent, then we should be taking a roll call. And we could take the recommendations together or separately. I don't know which members would prefer.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll go with the other 3 first of all. But I think on this particular, oh, I see. Yeah, we can take them all together, whether you agree or not. Okay. So are members happy to agree all 4 recommendations, subject to Councillor Morris's dissent?
Yes.
Agreed.
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 Thank you for that. In that case, we'll go for the roll call then, Tara.
So the roll call, just to agree all the recommendations as set out in the report.
As set out in the report, yes, please.
Thank you. Starting with Councillor Bassinger, please. Could you indicate for, against or abstain? Thank you.
For, please.
Thank you. Councillor Miss Beale.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Brian Beale.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Bell.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs Channer.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Fluker. We may have, I know he's having problems with connectivity, Chairman, so yeah, it looks like he's dropped out. Okay. Councillor Hurd.
I'm for.
Thank you. Councillor Hull.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Jarvis.
I'm for, thank you, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Keys.
I'm for.
Thank you. Councillor Lagan.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Mays.
For, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Morley.
For, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Morris.
Obviously against.
Thank you. Councillor Nunn.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Shaughnessy.
For, Tara, please.
Thank you. Councillor Siddle.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Skeens.
In 2 minds, abstain.
Stamp.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Stilts.
For, please, Tara.
Thank you. Councillor Swain.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs Thompson.
For, thank you.
And Councillor Miss White.
For, please, Tara.
Chairman, the results of that are 21 for, 1 against and 1 abstention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And your dissension has been duly noted, Councillor Morris. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item. We'll move on to agenda item 14, which is the rural settlements list. And we're asked to approve this. This is found on pages 183. In a moment, I'll call on the leader to present this item. Once again, members, please remember to use the chat function and I will come to you in turn. Leader, can you present this report, please?
Yes, certainly, Chairman. Thank you, Chair. The purpose of this report is to propose a rural settlement list for the financial year 2020 to 2021 to determine and award rural rate relief. It's very difficult to say this, Chairman, to be honest. There's only one line, but my goodness, it's a teeth twister. To award rural rate relief to eligible businesses, Chairman.
Very good.
I don't think anybody needs to go to Mr. Leslie, I think, but if any members want to, that's obviously up to you, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Leslie.
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Chairman. I did just want to point out to members that actually in the main body of the report, the years quoted, they're actually year out of date. For example, at paragraph 1.1, this year should be 2021-22 rather than 2020-21. However, the date in the appendix, which has 2021 in it, which is seeking the approval, is actually correct. So that part is fine. So apologies for that, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the recommendation, members, is that the rural settlement list attached as Appendix A be approved. If any member wants to second that motion. Thank you, Councillor Mays. I will now invite members to make any comments on the report. Tara, has anyone indicated that they wish to speak?
Yes, Chairman, Councillor Stamp has asked to speak.
Yeah, thank you. It was really just an apology to Mr. Leslie, because actually he did tell me there was an error and I forgot to actually say that. So thank you, Mr. Leslie, for assisting us. I appreciate your help.
Thank you for that. Any other speakers, Tara?
No, Chairman, no one else has indicated they wish to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the recommendation is that the report is approved. Are members happy to do that by assent?
Yes.
Agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you very much indeed. The next item is agenda item 15, which relates to the resignation of Councillor Elaine Bamford and the associated vacancies. So as we move to this agenda item, which is found on page 187, I would also draw members' attention to the addendum in relation to this report previously circulated and found on pages 13 and 14 of the supplementary pack. I'll call on the leader again to present this item in a moment. Again, members, if you wish to speak, please use the chat function. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Obviously, the purpose of the report is to deal with the associated vacancies following the resignation of Councillor Elaine Bamford as a district councillor. There's nothing more to say. It's very self-explanatory, Chairman.
Indeed it is. So the recommendations are that the council agrees appointments to the working group and outside body positions, and they are as stated there. If any member wishes to second that motion, could you please turn on your video and state your name?
Councillor Mays. Councillor Nunn, seconded.
Thank you, Councillor Nunn. I think Councillor Mays got there just slightly before you. I think this is fairly straightforward, but if any members wish to make any comment, has anybody indicated they wish to speak, Tara?
No, Chairman, no one's indicated they wish to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I take it, members, that you're happy to agree all of those recommendations for the working parties and groups by assent?
Agreed.
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 Agreed and well.
Thank you very much indeed. Agenda item 16, which is schedule of meetings. This is found on page 191. I will call on the leader to present this item shortly. Once again, please use the chat function. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Chair. Obviously, the purpose of this report is that the draft schedule of meetings for the 21-22 municipal year is presented for the Council's consideration. Additionally, the proposed updated schedule for 2020-21 to reflect budget deadlines is provided for consideration. This one's another straightforward one, Chairman, so thank you.
Indeed it is. The recommendation is that the schedule of meetings for 21-22 and the updated schedule be approved. If any member wishes to recommend...
Councillor Mays.
Or second that. Thank you, Councillor Mays. Any members wish to make any comments on that, please, Tara?
No, Chairman, no one's indicated they wish to speak on that one.
Thank you very much. So the recommendation is that the schedule of meetings are approved. Can we take that by assent?
Agreed.
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 Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 17. This is business by reason of special circumstances considered by the chairman to be urgent. I have none. We then move to agenda item 18, which is exclusion of the public and press. Therefore, I move that the committee resolves that under section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of part 1 of schedule 12A to the Act, and that this satisfies the public interest test. Is that seconded?
Second.
Councillor Swain. Thank you very much indeed. Tara, if you could just tell me when the public streaming has stopped.
Chairman, we just need
Yes, are members happy
Agreed.
to approve that?
Agreed.
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 Thank you very much.